of American interests around the world. Communists in our government? Well, to many Americans, the response is, so what, and who cares? What harm can they possibly do to a great and powerful nation as the United States? But recent history already has answered that question. It is the history of American paralysis in world conflict. Having fought a world war supposedly to protect Europe from Germany and to save China from Japan, at the end of that war, we gave the Soviets all of Eastern Europe, Manchuria, the Kuril Islands, the Chinese port of Dairen, the northern half of Korea, and half of Germany. In Yugoslavia, we guaranteed the success of communism by throwing our weight behind the Stalinist Tito in his fight against the pro-Western Mihailovich. After the war, in a project called Operation Keelhaul, we used American troops to round up anti-communist refugees all over Europe to be shipped back to Russia where they faced execution or slave labor in Siberia. This broke the back of the anti-communist movement in Europe. We supported the communist forces of Mao Zedong in their war against Chiang Kai-shek and actively worked behind the scenes to bring about the communization of China. We created the United Nations and staffed the Secretariat with communists from the State Department. We gave the Soviets 3 votes in the General Assembly compared to 1 for us, and agreed further that a Soviet national would always be in charge of UN military activities. We pushed Algeria into the communist orbit by supporting Ben Bella. We helped Castro to power in Cuba and later betrayed the anti-Castro invasion force at the Bay of Pigs. In Korea and Vietnam, we denied our military forces the option of victory. We supported the Sandinista communists in the takeover of Nicaragua. We gave the Panama Canal to a pro-Soviet dictatorship. We have bankrupted ourselves with foreign aid to our most bitter enemies around the world. We have built Soviet industry and have given them high technology for their nuclear strike force. When they could not pay, we canceled their debts and passed them on to the American taxpayer. We condemn anti-communist regimes in Africa and Latin America, allegedly for violations of human rights. But we invite to the White House and then publicly embrace every communist dictator in the world, no matter how bloody his hands. And while freedom fighters throw themselves against Soviet tanks in Hungary, Afghanistan, and Poland, we give solemn assurances that we will not intervene, and then send economic aid to the very communist governments which the people themselves are attempting to topple. The hard reality is that communism would not be a major force today without the massive help received from the United States government, and that America's retreat from victory since World War II is the result not of a confusion factor, but of the subversion factor.
In a speech before the Roman Senate in the 1st century BC, it was Cicero who said, "A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within." Now, it's not popular today to use the word treason, because that implies what we all dread, a state of war. But the truth is, whether we like it or not, we are at war, and we do have enemies outside our gates and inside who are sworn to our destruction. This is a new kind of war we face. We can't pick up our rifles and rush off to a foreign land to engage in open combat. The battle this time is here, in America itself. And the enemy doesn't wear a uniform or speak a strange language. He is from our country's best families and most prestigious universities. He's not found behind barricades, but in business and science, in the media, the pulpit, the classroom, and in government itself. How many of them are there and exactly where are they, we don't know. And that's the problem. Under present conditions, we have absolutely no way to find out. Now, Americans traditionally are jealous of their liberties, and it's proper that we should be vigilant against government encroachment into our private lives.